9/11 was an inside job. We wouldn't be at war today without it. There wouldn't be wiretapping without it. It's the excuse for everything. America, do your homework.
Well done.
I want to hear from Ralph.
Evidence that we've been preparing over a period of 5 years, and it is massive evidence. It's evidence that draws upon what has been presented to you frequently, but I cannot emphasize it enough, that the events of 9/11 were in the hands and in the knowledge of every major intelligence agency in the world prior to the event. French intelligence, British intelligence, German intelligence, Israeli intelligence, and publishing it as well, Russian intelligence reports that appeared in the Allgemeine Gesellschaft, the largest newspaper, the Frankfurter Allgemeine Gesellschaft in Germany. As you're aware, it isn't just Willie Brown who was instructed not to fly to New York on the 11th. It was members of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. It was Ariel Sharon, the then Prime Minister of Israel. The preparations for 9/11 were a not very well kept secret. On the contrary, with a supreme arrogance, the major intelligence agencies of collateral countries dependent upon the United States were fully apprised and fully prepared and fully documented in laying out what came to be known later as the events of 9/11. We are often accused, those of us who are engaged in this work, of being involved in what is called conspiracy theory and conspiracy mongering. And there's a certain irony about that, as I like to point out, because if you walk into any district attorney's office or confront the agenda of any prosecutor at the state or federal or county or municipal level, you will find that the most frequently invoked category of juridical prosecution is that of conspiracy. The RICO Act, conspiracy to defraud. At every level, the category of conspiracy is the basic tool of prosecution, and I should say persecution, of those who run afoul of this system of banking and corporate control. For the most part, as you know, the victims of these prosecutions are the most disadvantaged and the poor, what can be called the criminalization of poverty. Over 2.2 million in the American prison system, a percentage of the population far in excess of what was present either in Brezhnev's Soviet Union or, for that matter, the apartheid regime of South Africa. And this vast prosecutional apparatus that is deployed against the most victimized and vulnerable in our society is forever invoking the category of conspiracy to carry out their investigations and their persecutions and their frame-ups. But the only conspiracy, if you like, that they are disinterested in pursuing is that of those who have real power in the society, the rulers who call the shots. And when we look at the past history of our country, we find that every major war, every major predation, every attempt to seize the resources of other peoples, to subjugate their populations, to obtain their oil and to secure their cheap labor, has been preceded by exactly the kind of events that unfolded at 9/11. When they wanted to grab the Philippines and Cuba from Spain in 1898, a ship was blown up in Havana Harbor, and the cry was put out, "Remember the Maine." The Maine battleship, in fact, was blown up by the U.S. military itself, as is widely acknowledged. And one of the interesting things about the documentation of this is that in 1962, to jump ahead, you've heard about Operation Northwoods. Well, Operation Northwoods came to light for a very particular reason. It was not something that was intended to reach our ears and eyes, I can assure you of that. But when Oliver Stone made a movie about the execution of John F. Kennedy, and the impact of JFK was such that the impact of JFK was such that a call and a cry was made to release the documents pertaining to the assassination of Kennedy. And in the assassination archives that were disclosed was found Operation
Wars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. I want to commend everybody out here that is speaking the truth. There's a new zombie poll out. Half of Americans believe that the U.S. government was involved in 9/11. CNN has had polls as high as 90% believing that there's a cover-up. Now, our numbers are growing. People are waking up. The truth is coming out. And we will expose the fact that 9/11 was carried out by criminal elements, very small, but very high-level criminal elements of our own government. We must stand. 9/11 is an inside job. 9/11 is an inside job. It's a false flag terror operation. America is in distress. Criminals have seized control of our government. The government's been caught buying millions of dollars in fake newscast and propaganda. They're spying on the American people. They're advocating torture. They're besmirching the name and credit of this country. They're taking America from the most loved in the world to the most hated. It's time to expose it, and we are going to expose it. Nothing's going to stop us. The truth is out, and it's only growing, and you're part of it. God bless you.
Above them is called, basically it's called skull and bones, and you know they say they're born again Christians, but you know in reality they're actually worshiping an owl statue and knocking. Yeah, you can turn it out for free.
That's okay. Alright, thanks.
Well, change your mind for the info for it.
Alright. I am.
Please research it, officer. I know you guys are good, and if what we're saying is true, if 10% of it's true, we're in a lot of trouble. Believe me, it's all true.
And you know, check it out, hour and 20 minutes, it'll totally flip your view.
Here, look, he's over here showing Officer 7 following.
He's got to go, man.
Have you ever seen that?
He's got to go, man. He'll watch it tonight.
All right.
Thank you. We gave him a copy. Thank you, officer.